including Crossing the Equal Sign, Plainview Press, Texas, a collection of poetry about the experience of mathematics, and Surviving the Alphabet, from Huge Pathetic Force Press, ooh, I like that name, Pennsylvania, and Dirty Details, The Days and Nights of a Well Spouse, from Temple University Press. She teaches math at Arcadia University, and her other interests are classical piano, singing, Scrabble, thrift shopping, 4 grown children, and 2 grandchildren. Please welcome Marion Cohen.
Hi, everybody. Very nice to see you all here. Something dropped. It's a pen. I don't need a pen now. You don't write now. It's possible to write when you're reading, but when you're doing a reading, but nah. Well, I love the way they call this the mystery of poetry. And as soon as I got the flyer in the mail, I thought, and I like to think that I write poetry of mystery, or poetry about mystery. At least sometimes. So, and especially my math poetry, I think, is that. I'm going to read just one poem from, a short poem, just to start, from Surviving the Alphabet, the Huge Pathetic Force book. Maybe I should have called the book Huge Pathetic Force. It's actually, John, what is it? And my husband is the publisher of this book. What is the, who is the author of Huge Pathetic Force? Who made that?
Well, it's from Wallace Stevens, a
Wallace,
poem by
right.
Wallace Stevens.
Okay, I always forget that. Anyway, this is just a very short poem. It has to do with writing. Here we go. It's called Asking the Cats. It's about writing in the middle of the night. 3 a.m. in the dark, asking the cats to please take a look at what I've just written. Well, Mirage, what do you think? Does that poem work for you? Mirage doesn't have to answer. All Mirage has to do is not walk away. And now I'd like to read some poems from, I need a place to put what I'm
Put
writing.
that underneath,
Okay, if I put it on more than I promise I'll take it with a break. I want to cover up your books. All right, so I'm going to read some poems from the book of math poetry. The cover is due to Paul Klee, the famous artist Paul Klee. Worth every penny of that cover. And as you know, I teach math, and I've been passionate about math since I was maybe 14 or 15, and probably before that. And I was aware that math for me was a poetic thing, which was not apparent that all mathematicians felt that way. But anyway, I knew that that's what it was for me. So there are poems in here. I don't think any poems that I'm reading tonight. There are poems in here about childhood, being a kid mathematician. Anyway, this is about working on the problem that I was working on, and this is kind of how it begins. And the poems are untitled. Points were blinking, lines were beckoning. How was I to know? What could I have done? I heard some voices, I had some time. There was a tenderness, there was a weeping. How was I to know the points would not point? How was I to know the lines would not line up? I feel so sorry for the insides of things. I imagine them sweating and cramping. I hear them trying to flex. I know from complex analysis that sometimes outsides determine the insides. And I think maybe the insides are tired of being determined. And most things are inside. Most things are encased. I'm afraid most things are alive. I would like to go around rescuing all the insides. I would like to dig into everything and pull the insides outside. But there is not enough outside to go around. If I can't rescue them, maybe I can put them out of their misery. I know I can't shoot them, but I can try to squash them. Or I can go around injecting poison into them. But what kind of poison works for this form of life? That's actually been a theme, this rescuing the insides business. And the book that I just finished writing was called Rescuing the Insides of Poetry. All right, this is called First Try at Zen Meditation. I don't only read it in Buddhist sectors, I read it at other readings too. We let out our bottoms, hold in our tops. We count our breaths, mod 10. And the flow of the room is counterclockwise, like the flow of most mathematical surfaces. Is anything ever clockwise? Only the clock, the lone clock. Only the clock sails counterclockwise. Provided it's not digital, it persists, insists, and resists the flow of the room. By the way, can people hear me?
Yes.
People in the back? Good. All right. And here's another theme, counting. And if there's time, I'm going to read a poem about not counting later on. For now, we definitely have time for this poem. One morning, I wake up counting. I realize I'm counting, and I just keep it up. There's nothing to count, nothing to own, nothing to try to win. I'm practicing counting, preaching counting, maybe even learning to count. In the dream, I had not been counting. I had only been wandering. The horizon had been approaching, and the sky had been flat. Also, that sky might have been folded. There's no reason to count footsteps, no reason to count years, maybe no reason to count numbers. To fall asleep, you count sheep. What do you count to fall awake? Well, I have to read this poem. Imagining Buddhist Judgment Day. That I also read other places. The enlightened universe lolls around. It is big and fat and one and only. It's a little homesick. It misses parties, it misses babies, it misses sweaters, and it remembers math. Points used to be blinking. Lines used to be trembling. Now it's all homogeneous. Also, one of its corners used to be me, and another of its corners was my true love. And there was time. There was the first this and the last that. Now it's all middle. The universe is bored. Isn't there another universe around somewhere? Is this all there is? Actually, if I can find it quickly, I'd like to read one of my obsession poems. Obsessed with math, obsessed with the problem I was working on. If I can find it, or I'll do this one. I am no workaholic, but I'm collecting points and lines. Not like stamps, no, I wouldn't trade them. I simply have to have them. I need a group portrait, all of them smiling. I have to have a hand with these beauties as fingers. I have to hold a vase with these cuties as flowers. I should contact a colleague. I should go online. But don't you see, I have to do this alone. I am based in reality. But God created these lammies, set them out to green pasture, and maketh me to lie down.